Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. I know, 2 videos in one day. What is going on? I have some free time. That's crazy. I know. So I am going to be talking to the ladies here. Yes, my ladies. I turned 50 this year and menopause hit me like a brick wall. It just, boom. It was crazy. Everything they said, the nightmare that it is, 100% true. Whew, I know. Could not take it. It was just awful, awful, awful. So I've been dealing with that all year. All year it has consumed me. It has made me so angry. It has like made me depressed, and I'm not a depressed person whatsoever. And I just like wanted to like bang my head against the wall because I was extremely frustrated with menopause. Absolutely hate it. I can't stand it. I hate it so much. So, I just have to calm myself down. And so once like I wrapped my head around it and did my research, because I'm all about research, all about following doctors on YouTube and Instagram, and really reading all the comments and seeing what other women have done, because I knew I wanted to do this naturally. I do not want any chemicals in my body. I want to be all natural. I'm not doing anything, okay? Nothing that involves chemicals of any kind. Okay, so first and foremost, I went to all my doctors, and terrible. So I found a nurse practitioner who specializes in menopause. So all that time I did getting all those doctor's appointments for 6 months was such a waste of time. Go seek someone who specializes in menopause. Specializes. A regular doctor is just going to be like, here, estrogen patch, everything should be fine. I'm like, you don't even know what my estrogen levels are? Like, nothing. You're just like giving me whatever you give every woman that walks in your office. I'm like, no, I need to know numbers. I need to know where my body is at. So with the specialist, of course, she's out of network too. So that's another thing, out of network. So expensive. So I got my hormone levels checked so I can see what's going on in my body, what is out of whack, what's going funky every which way. And so for me, and everybody's super different. So for me, I had high estrogen levels, high cortisol levels, and everything else was normal. Where a lot of my friends are like, oh, I have this, or I have that, or I'm normal. I mean, everybody's so different. So I was like, okay, high estrogen, high cortisol. And so I had gained weight as well in this year. And that was so frustrating to me because I am doing clean keto. I do not drink. I do not eat fast food, fried food, processed food, sugars. I'm not a sugar person. I do have like my cheat meals. Usually at Bible study, I'll get like my cookies or my brownies, and that's like my cheat for like the rest of the week. You know, that's my one day, and everything else, I'm just so strict about it because I work so hard to lose all the weight. I'm not going back. I got rid of all my clothes in my closet, my big girl clothes, my 14 and 16 size. I'm done. I want to see in my size small clothing. That's me. That's what I want. So with me gaining weight, like right here, my hips, not on my stomach because I had a tummy tuck, so that kind of saved me. But like the hips, you know, all Hispanic women are like, yep, it's right here in our hips. it just really made me mad that I would put on my dresses because I'm all about dresses. And then they would get stuck like right here. I'm like, what is going on? So seeing the nurse practitioner, she's just like, this is going to be the slowest process ever of like, you know, fixing your hormones, fixing everything about you to get you back to your work. And I was like, that sucks because I'm very impatient. I work hard. I do Pilates. I was doing Pilates like 6 days a week. I was doing 9 classes a week, like full addiction to Pilates, which is a great exercise for you. Like yoga is really great, and walking. So right away, she's like, no, you're doing way too much exercise as a lady of your age. I'm like, oh my God, I'm old. I'm a grandma. Like, I'm not a grandma, but like, I'm getting old. She said, cut it down. No more high intensity workouts for you. This is for me. This is for my body. So I was like, what? I love my high intensity workouts with Pilates. You know, it comes with a lot of strength training and, you know, just all this stuff. And so fine, I lowered that amount. So now I'm doing 6 classes a week, 5 days a week, but it's more stretching and like flow 1 classes. So I was like, okay, I'll correct myself. And then let's see, she said you needed to de-stress. You needed to find time in the day where it's quiet. You need to meditate, de-stress, read, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I had to rearrange my schedule. I had to say no to some things. I'm like, nope, it's my time to de-stress, to have some quiet time before the kids get home from school, and then it's all chaos. So, and she's like, your life is very stressful because, you know, I have an autistic kid. We do therapies before school. We drop him off at school. He comes home from school and we do therapies. And then my focus is him. And sometimes he wouldn't sleep for like 24 hours, or I get 2 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep. So she's like, you need to learn to increase your sleep and relax. So I'm like, okay, I need to focus on that. So imagine if I did not know my hormone levels, my regular doctor was going to give me an estrogen patch, which was going to like make me sick or make my symptoms even more exacerbated. I don't know. So that's why it's so important to know where your hormones are. So that was the first thing I did. Plus lifestyle changes of more relaxing, calming, settling myself down, meditating, taking naps, reading to just put myself in like a more calm state. Also lower my workout activities to more stretching, strength training, and less cardio or high intensity. So this was for me, what I needed to do. And then my liver, with her testing me from head to toe, my liver enzymes were very elevated. So she put me on liver support, which is all plant-based, which my liver, I guess, is not excreting the estrogen, and that's why I'm retaining it. And she said that kind of correlates to the weight gain I've been seeing around here. So I'm like, okay. So now I have to worry about my liver, which is really weird because I don't drink, I don't eat crappy, I work out. So what they're thinking is with me doing a lot of Pilates, it put a lot of stress on my body, and my liver kind of took the brunt of that stress. So see, everything in excess takes a toll on something. So I kind of had to learn that the hard way. So now I just take a lot of stretch classes so I don't put a lot of physical stress on my body. I know, who knew? Who knew excessive exercise would affect your organs? But it does. So then also, you know, I tried really, and then she said no more melatonin. I was taking a ton of melatonin because as soon as my son did go to sleep, I took a ton so I could like hurry up and just like knock myself out. And she said that was bad. So don't do that. Fall asleep naturally. Just do a great bedtime. And I said, I do that, but with the autism, it just, it's still very chaotic. So, but I took away the melatonin, so no melatonin. She also put me on berberine. Berberine or berberine. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but that is also a plant-based supplement that helps with glucose, your metabolism, like high blood pressure. I don't have that, but it works with that. And so she said that would help me to lose the weight. And so it has, but it's very slow. And that was where my impatience was. My patience was tested to the absolute, because I'm like, I'm taking the supplement and it's supposed to help me with my weight, and it's taking forever. So it took about 2 months for me to notice that I was actually like slowly losing weight and fitting into my clothes again. So, you know, feeling good because I'm finally fitting back in my clothes. I don't want to buy a new wardrobe. I just don't want to do it, but I had to wait for the process. I had to wait for the berberine to take effect. I also see a registered dietitian. So I increased my fiber. So I bought like this fiber powder and I put in my coffee every morning, and man, that stuff cleans you out. I was like, I thought it was regular, but that showed me, no, I was not. I mean, poop is important when you get old. So that thing worked insane. So I take that with my coffee. And then also I have a protein powder that I take also because as we get older, we need more protein in our diet and we're not getting enough. So that helps supplement for me not meeting my goals of protein intake, because sometimes like I'm eating and I'm just so full. I cannot have like another big meal. And so I do have big breakfasts. I have my eggs, my avocado, or whatever it is. And then I have a big lunch. And then I would usually have like a small dinner, or I would fast. So I wasn't reaching my protein goal. So the protein shakes that I make help me do that. And then fasting. Fasting is so good for you. And so I do fast in the evening times. And so I feel great to let my GI system take a break and replenish itself, repair itself, and then it could tackle on the new day. And so I do feel good. I've been fasting for a long time and I love it. It's part of my routine. So I was already set on that. So my nurse practitioner and my registered dietitian say, you know, you're doing everything you need to do. It's just regulating your hormones, getting everything back on track, getting your liver to do its job, and then everything should come back to normal. And so it finally feels like it is. But I was extremely frustrated with how slow everything is, but that's just me because I'm very impatient. But I'm very happy that I'm doing this naturally. I'm not taking any HRTs. I follow Dr. Eric Berg, B-E-R-G, and he's a big advocate of like doing no HRTs. And some of my friends, they take HRTs, and that's wonderful for you. Go for it. But for me, I've always wanted to do everything naturally with plant-based supplements, natural supplements, and that's just how I roll. Also getting a water bottle with times on them to help me make sure I'm meeting my water intake goal was very helpful. So anything that will help me stay on the right path is great. Also, when you are getting old, you dry out. So I remember like my lips were so chapped. I'm like, what is going on? So I started applying castor oil on my face to hold into that moisture so I don't feel dried out, and that's been a game changer. Also, you could put it on your stomach to detox your liver, which I have been doing which I'm hoping with my next lab test that my liver keeps getting better and better, which it has, but it's still a little high. So it's also been such a slow process. So, whew, take a breather. Being healthy is like a full-time job. I mean, I have to make sure I eat well and that I am eating, because sometimes when you're on the berberine, it acts like a GLP-1, and I guess you don't eat as regularly. You kind of like forget. It quiets the food noise in your brain and in your stomach. So that's why I love it. You know, I do have friends who are taking those GLP-1s, and family members, you know, do that. But you just get to like a certain point where you just look like death, and you look gone, and you don't look happy. You look shriveled, and it just does not look how I think you want it to look. It's destroying your gut, and you look bad. And so I think when I see people and they use it for a certain extent and they get to like their weight, like, you should probably get off. And I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but like, I see people tip to another side and they just look bad. And I don't want to do that. I've always wanted to lose my weight naturally. I wanted to be like my grandfather. He's going to be 98 in December. And he's like fantastic. I love him. And I want to model that. And I want to model it with my kids, where you don't always have to turn to drugs to help you. Like, you can do things on your own naturally. And so, you know, but of course, some things you need medications for. I totally get it. I have a kid on meds, so I get some things. But for the most part, if I could do something naturally, I'm totally going to do that. Also, I want to treat my body like the amazing vessel it is, and treat it with, you know, kindness, treat it with like healthy products, and treat it with like the utmost care, because if something fails, how do I care for my son who has severe autism and needs 24-hour care? So I can't do anything that's going to hurt me physically or mentally. And so that's why I fight so hard to do natural products, to follow doctors and nurses who are really going to encourage natural supplements, a natural way of healing. And I feel good. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, have colds and flus and constantly sick. And I have to say, you know, knock on wood, I'm very healthy. I take natural remedies. And so I'm not like suffering like some people who are like always getting sick or getting whatever's going around. I'm always like, nope, I'm good. And I don't prevent myself from like socializing because people are sick. I don't lock myself in the house. I get out, I get fresh air all the time, and just do a lot of oil of oregano. It's a natural it's a natural antibiotic, so it clears this. I did allergy shots for a while because my allergies were so severe. I was getting very sick and feeling better. And so I do all that stuff. So I don't have my Ziploc baggie full of meds, and I don't have my list of diagnoses and stuff like that. So I'm trying really hard to keep all of this healthy and fabulous, and in for the long haul, to physically take care of my kiddo. That's like my one goal. I want to be like my grandpa, physically healthy and running around at 98 years old. Like, he's gonna outlive all of us. So yes, health is so important, but there's a way to do it naturally that works. And, you know, I was also with my nurse practitioner, she diagnosed me as having the antibodies for rheumatoid arthritis, which I was like, yikes, that does not sound great. And it's not, it's terrible. So I have been taking ivermectin for a parasite cleanse. And with ivermectin, it's also a natural anti-inflammatory. And so I have like, no. And she was like, you're great. She's all, you do have the antibodies for it. So that could predict that you will maybe get it in the future, or you're just going to live like this and just have it in your system, but it would not activate itself because you're taking such great care of your body. So I'm just like, I feel like such a win. I'm like, yay! I'm doing everything I can to heal myself naturally and feeling the effects of it, feeling like I'm winning this BS ride with menopause, and feeling fabulous. All right, so that's it. That's my motivation for you to like, don't stop looking for doctors who are going to listen to you, who are really going to investigate how to heal your body and not pile on the drugs, because all of the drugs they're going to do is make you sicker with their side effects. And then it's just like such a horrible and painful, vicious cycle that is like going to be never ending, because it's going to pile on more drugs to treat that side effect and more drugs to treat the new side effects, and it just keeps going on, and it's such a huge snowball that you're never going to win. So heal yourself naturally, as much as possible, of course. I always consult my doctor. I always make sure, like, okay, this is what I have. Okay, now let me see if I could treat it naturally before we go to meds. And that's 100% my thought process and my thinking. All right, I hope that helps you, especially ladies. Yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yay, feeling fabulous and loving it. And I'm loving my 50s. I highly recommend it. All right, hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.